Hello, beer tubers, and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the master of hoppers. Today, carrying on with the Oktoberfest-themed German beer odyssey of beers that I picked up on Beer Dome. So Beer Dome got a very nice selection of German classic beers right now. They've got some of the Oktoberfest classic, the actual fest beers, and then a lot of other classic German beer for the season. It's Oktoberfest. People are drinking a lot of this, and it's so awesome to see this. A variety of fest beers and lagers and Weizens and whatnot from many different breweries. So I picked up almost a lot. I think everything I hadn't tried before, or at least I hadn't reviewed in a long time, or hadn't reviewed. Most of it was hadn't reviewed. So we're trying two beers today, two Weizens. And Weizens is really not something I drink a lot of anymore. But when I was getting into craft beer, I loved Weissbier. I really loved a really good Weizen. And I think the very first beer mail I ever got where a brewery reached out to me and said, like, hey, can we send you some beer? Was Schneider in Germany. And I got the whole range, and I was a massive fan already. So I was like, whoa, that's so cool. What the hell? It was nuts. But we're not drinking Schneider beer today, although we're using their glassware because I don't really have much Weizen glasses other than these. I actually have three others, I think maybe. But doesn't matter. We're drinking beer from Klosterbrauerei Andechs. So I've actually already reviewed this one, the Weissbier. I think it's called Naturtrüb Weissbier Hell or something in the original video. I gave it an 80 back in the day. Back in the day, I used to rate a whole lot lower because in my mind, 80 was like an amazing beer that was like an A, something like that. But the scale had been adjusted a lot since then to be more like exponential. So anything in the 80s range is still good beer, but it's not something where you're like, wow. But it's interesting because my comments on the beer is like, I really enjoy it and I think it's awesome. But I still think it's lacking compared to Schneider, I think I said. But whatever, let's not talk about old Peter. And let's get back to the present and drink some beer. So two Weissbiers from Andechs. It's their Helle Weissbier and their Dunkles Weissbier. So their regular light colored Weissbier and the Dunkelweizen. Dark colored wheat beer, light colored wheat beer. I've reviewed their Doppelbock Dunkel, which I really loved. That's actually a very well-known Doppelbock in Germany. It's really, really got a good reputation. But to the Weissbiers. So Weissbier is a really interesting style. It's one of the, well, technically, in modern times, the only German ale, maybe besides Gose, that's still around. There was many different German ales historically, but they all went extinct, like the dinosaurs, besides a few. So the most notable thing about a Hefeweizen is that it should look like this. The OG hazy beer. Before New England IPAs, we had this. And I must say the haze stability on these is insane. With a lot of Hefeweizens, when you put them in the fridge for a couple days, or just have them standing in your cellar, the chub of yeast or the yeast in suspension will drop out. You'll have to swirl the bottom of the bottles. And I could also do that here, but it's not really necessary. I mean, I guess it's because there's a lot of yeast in suspension in the bottles, or just a lot of yeast in the bottles. Because when these have been in the fridge for 24 hours, and prior to that, just standing on in my cellar. I mean, something should have dropped, but it's not. It's really hazy, which is awesome. I mean, you want a Weissbier to look like this. So the Helles has got a very nice, bright golden yellow hue, which is a nice orange glow to it. It's got a white head. I'm looking forward to this, man. Weissbier is not something I've been drinking in a long time. This Helles Weizen, 5.5%, the Dunkles 5. But we'll do the light one first just because the dark one has darker flavors. And they talk about online how this is completely natural Weissbier, unfiltered, anything like classic yeast, lots of things that classic brewers pride themselves on, which they should. But yeah, it looks very nice. Let's check out the aroma. Oh, and white head. Crazy frothy white head when I poured it out. Oh, that smells really lovely. Loads of banana, banana bread, clove, nutmeg, like lots of spice, fall spice. Very bready, like smells fluffy and airy, like fluffy, wheaty breadiness. Like a dough of like almost like if you had like Hokkaido milk bread, like that really airy, fluffy. Like I'm getting sensations of that just by smelling it. Lovely aromatics, floral too. that smells so vibrant and fresh. Like, wow, what a Hefeweizen. I haven't had a Hefeweizen that's like this. Like, if you smell this compared to like a Franziskaner from the supermarket or a Erdinger. Oof. Erdinger is such a shit Weissbier. Like, compared to something like this. This is just like burst out of the glass. It smells so full, so rich. Like, it smells really good. Let's try it. Cheers. Thanks to Beer Dome for the beer. Wow. That is fantastic Hefeweizen. Wow. I don't know. Why did I give this an 80 in the past? Maybe this is a style I need to revisit more too. Like, this is throwing me to like OG, really high class Hefeweizen. Like, it's making me think of like Weinstefaner, because it has like that kind of slightly bubblegummy thing as well, like Weinstefaner does. Bubblegummy, banana bread, clove, nutmeg, a slight herbal touch to it as well from hops. Really airy, fluffy, highly aggressively highly carbonated, which like Weizens are supposed to be super highly carbonated. I think it's like, I can't remember how much it is, but the CO2 levels of this is insane. It's like one of the highest carbonated beer styles. It's almost like champagne, and not as much as champagne, but it's like you can really feel it when you take a sip. Like, that combined with the immense amount of wheat in the beer makes the mouthfeel like really rich, but then at the same time, all that carbonation makes it like so airy. Like, it makes you have that like cloudy, like chewing on clouds sensation. You really feel it fizzing up in your mouth. Wow. Wow, that's so good. Fall spiced banana bread, man. Like like slightly toasted kind of banana bread with fresh bananas on top, and then like fall spices. That is just awesome, and it's so refreshing. It is so refreshing. Man, I can't remember the last time I've been this excited about a Weissbier. What the hell? Full circle galore, guys. I mean, this is the kind of stuff I would be excited about when I got on the craft beer journey, back in 2009. This has got a lot of stuff to, live up to now. Let's switch it up, because I just don't want to I'm going to be drinking that way too fast otherwise. Let's see here with the Dunkelweizen. So back in the day, I loved both Weissbiers and Dunkelweizens, and Dunkelweizens were actually some of my favorite beers. I love these darker Weizens, especially the massive Doppelbock versions like Schneider Aventinos. This is an Aventinus glass, by the way. So this one, slightly different by the use of crystal malts, dark malts, and they say that themselves as well, giving it more robust flavors. So yeah, it's not a pretty beer. It will never be, because it's hazy and it's brown. It looks like sewer water. It looks black on camera almost, but it's like, you can't really see it. Maybe if I hold the light up. Like, it looks like nothing is going to bleed through this in terms of light. Nope. See a little bit. It actually looks kind of pretty. But yeah, that looks like rust orange. But it looks like rusty, muddy water, like, or something like that. Not pretty. High carbonation. Very nice, frothy as well. Beige looking head when I pour it out. Let's check out the Dunkelweizen. All that CO2. Very similar aroma in terms of the vibrancy and freshness. They must have some killer house yeast. I mean, this is the kind of yeast you want to use in your... This is a beer style all about yeast. It's the yeast management, the yeast you use. That's why, like, that's a make it or break it thing for a Weissbier. And they surely had a fantastic yeast, or just fantastic process and yeast handling with this. So it's the same aroma pretty much as this, but it's got an extra touch of like toastiness, toasty breadiness, chocolate, or maybe not chocolate, like Cocoa Puffs, really, like a cereal grain that's chocolate-like. And some robust breadiness, and then it seems a bit more intense in the fall spice nuances, and I think that's just because you have darker malts as well. It makes you think more of like fall spices even more, because I'm also getting hints of like cinnamon in this, cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, clove. breadiness. Oh, it smells so good. You could get as a kid. Oh man, when I was a kid, you could get these lollipops, hard sucking candies, where half and they were like slightly soft. One half was banana flavored, the other half was chocolate flavored. It kind of reminds me of that, but in a beer form. This smells so dope. These are really surprising Hefeweizens. Wow. And Dunkelweizen. Let's try it. Cheers. Thanks, Beer Dome. Wow. That is really good. Wow. It feels like both beer feels so alive and vibrant. Like, it's crazy. This is such amazing traditional beer. Like I love modern beer and all the crazy stuff with craft beer, although a lot of things are also too much. But like it's like I really hope a lot of people who drink only modern beer and crazy over the top pastry beers, hazy beers, super fruity smoothie sours, whatever, at one point will open their eyes for the insane craftsmanship that this is. Like, yeah, it's not easy to maybe balance flavors in some of those beers, and they also often are quite unbalanced. It's not balanced beers, but to nail something like this well, and like this feels like tried and tested recipes. This feels like dialed in beer that's taken years to reach these levels. Whereas beer, some kind of whatever sour beer base, where you just dunk in a shit ton of superfruit. You dunk in a shit ton of fruit and whatever, marshmallow fluff. I don't care. Those beers can be fun to try. I even pick them up once in a while myself because it's silly. But this, any day of the week for me, I'd much rather drink this. This is such awesome craftsmanship and so well done. I really hope more new money beer drinkers will have their eyes open to this. Like, you should try it and go in with an open mind. Like, it's still gonna taste like beer, but it's gonna have a really cool flavor profile. Wow, this is great. Such a similar flavor profile in terms of the yeast character. You have the banana, but banana bread. But then you get the layers of malt on top that just works wonders. Like, I think this is even better than the regular, because you get that like Cocoa Puffs. Really, is what I associate with this. Cocoa Puffs, caramel toffee nuances, more robust breadiness, almost like that chocolate banana vibe, and then even more fall spice. Think like cinnamon, clove, allspice, nutmeg, those kind of flavors. A lot of that, and it's just perfect for the kind of this season. This is kind of like your summer Weissbier, and then you can have this in the wintertime. Yeah, really fucking great. In terms of grades, if I was to grade 100% on style, I would probably give both a 95. I'd say that these are world-class Dunkelweizen and Hefeweizen. Some of the best I've had in a long time. Personal preference, I'm actually close. This is taking me like a bit flabbergasted because I did not expect them to be this good like this. Yeah, grades. I think we should just stick to the 95s. I mean, who cares? Why shouldn't a Weissbier be able to, and a Dunkelweizen be able to get a 95? Grading shouldn't necessarily be about intensity of flavor. It can also be wow factor in terms of craftsmanship and drinkability, as these are. Like, there's many things. And I think it's a whole different debate, but I think a lot of craft beer, and I've been there myself, like, you can only give things high grades if they're massive flavor experiences. They actually are as well, these, for their ABV. But yeah, I think these are some of the best wheat beers, Weizens, I've had in a very long time. And I'm really stoked that I got to try these. Revisit this one. Why did I give this an 80 back in the day? What the hell? I don't know. Maybe I wasn't as full circle when I had it back in the day. I can't believe it. 95 across the board. Wowzers. Get these. Get some Andechs Weissbier Hell and Weissbier Dunkel. I need to revisit some Weissbiers as well. Fucking man. Really good. So, if you guys had these two, let me know what you thought of them. Great. Like, if you love Weizens, this is something you need to get on ASAP. Go to Beer Dome, get some bottles. They're like was it €3 or something like that for a bottle. Super cheap and amazing. So, if you had either, let me know what you thought of them. Really high carbonated beers too. Let me know what you thought of them. And here's to also being able to give great, well-crafted old money beer high grades when it's like this exciting to drink and making me this excited about them. So yeah, if you guys had these, let me know what you thought of them. As always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give the video a thumbs up, enjoyed it, ring the bell for future notifications about videos. Wow, I need to edit a lot in this one. Say cheers and see you guys in the beer review. And thanks to Beardom for the beer. Cheers.